Welcome to Cat and Jess Talk the Best, where we're going to be talking about IMDb's top 250 movies from April 12th, 2018. My name is Kat.
And I'm Jess.
And today we are talking about number 207, Amores Perros, which is a drama thriller film from 2000. And this has an 8.1 on 205,701 votes. So the spoiler-free synopsis: Amores Perros is a bold, intensely emotional, and ambitious story of lives that collide in a Mexico City car crash. Inventively structured as a triptych of overlapping and intersecting narratives, Amores Perros explores the lives of disparate characters who are catapulted into unforeseen dramatic situations.
Alright, so this is directed by Alejandro Gonzalez Iñárritu, and he's directed films like 21 Grams, Birdman, or The Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance, and The Revenant. Alright, and this stars Emilio Echevarria, Gael Garcia Bernal, and Goya Toledo.
Ratings. IMDb, 33.4% of users rated this at an 8. And the 18 to 44 age group are the ones that rated this the highest.
Oh, I can see that.
Yeah. Metacritic, this has an 83%. And Rotten Tomatoes, it has a 92% on 116 critical reviews. 107 are fresh, 9 are rotten. 2 of the fresh, Andrew Saris, one of the most honored and most expertly articulated Mexican films of recent years. Okay.
Yeah, I can see that.
Jeff Andrew, recalling Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction, but edgier than both, this is a hell of a first film. For all its bone-crunching savagery, it's also a fundamentally moral work.
Yeah, I can see that.
Okay. 2 rotten. Jeremiah Kipp, in his eager passion to fill Amores Perros with explosive energy, Iñárritu nearly drowns his audience with visual excess. Okay. Steve Rhodes, the level of violence is so gratuitous and so disgusting that I picked up my coat several times and started to walk out, something I almost never do.
It's probably because of the dog fighting.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta get over that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you go into this movie not knowing and you see that much dogfighting and it being that realistic, it is hard to watch.
It wasn't really the dogfighting because there really wasn't that much of it. It was more of the dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As a result of the dogfighting. So the consensus: the brutality of Amores Perros may be difficult to watch at times, but this intense, gritty film packs a hard wallop.
I would agree.
Yep. Alright, so the income. The budget for this film was $2 million. Its opening weekend, it made $61,047. Its domestic gross here in the U.S. was $5,408,467. Foreign, $15,500,000 for a total of $20,908,467. And its highest all-time rank, it hit August 28th of 2002, so like a year and a half after it came out. It hit number 2,445.
Huh.
The awards. So it was nominated for 1 Oscar, which I believe was the best foreign language film.
Yep.
So it had 55 wins and 22 nominations.
Wow.
A lot of it was best foreign language film. The AFI Fest, it won best feature film. The Ariel Awards in Mexico, it won a Golden Ariel. It won a few silver ones. One for best first work. One for best editing, best sound, best special effects, best makeup, best set design, best cinematography, best actor in a minor role, best actor, best direction.
Wow.
The Bogota Film Festival, it won a couple of best films and a best director. The Cannes, it won Critics Week Grand Prize, Grand Golden Rail, and Young Critics Award for best feature. Chicago International Film Festival, Audience Choice Award, Golden Hugo for Best Film, Silver Hugo for Best Actor. Both Emilio and Gael got that. Fantastisporto, Best Film, Best Director, Best Screenplay in the International Fantasy Film categories. In the Havana Film Festival, won Best First Work, Cuban Press Association Award, and Glauber Rocha Award. Screenplay in the IEDA Latin Film Festival. London Critics Circle Film Awards won Director of the Year. I'm only going to read a couple more because I'm done reading this now. MTV Movie Awards in Latin America. It won MTV North Feed, mostly Mexico, favorite film. That's kind of funny. Mostly Mexico.
Mostly
Mostly Mexico.
What does that even mean?
Mostly Mexico.
Okay.
I don't know. The Tokyo International Film Festival, Best Director, and Tokyo Grand Prix. And that's all I'm going to read, because I'm tired of reading them.
It's all good. There's a lot.
Yeah. So, initial thoughts. What'd you think?
Well, I'm glad you gave me the heads up about all the dogs. So I was prepared.
Yeah.
But I knew already about it. I just didn't know how bad some of the dogs were going to be.
Yeah.
Some of the blood.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's pretty realistic.
Mm-hmm.
Good job with that. I liked it for the most part. Actually, I really did. I was telling you earlier before I started recording, I was giggling at the translations.
Yeah.
Because I actually know a decent amount of Spanish. I mean, I can't speak it, but I know how to understand it pretty well. And I was giggling because not everything was caught or correct.
Yeah.
I was like, they missed a lot of cuss words.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of cursing in this movie. A lot. And I did like, I didn't realize this. I was like, it's a nice connection. That, I didn't realize where my grandparents got this from. So, my grandparents, when they were still alive, whenever they answered their phone, they would say, bueno, instead of saying hello. And then I heard in this movie, I was like, maybe it's a Spanish-speaking thing.
Yeah.
I thought it was like, nice connection there. So that, like, totally bumped it up for me.
Yeah.
I did like the 3 stories. Well, 2 of the 3 stories for the most part. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, overall, I really liked it. I did.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I was also warned about how much dog violence was in this movie. One of my friends has seen it before, and he told me that I need to be kind of weary going into it because there's a lot of dog-on-dog violence.
I wouldn't say a lot.
There's a lot more than literally every other movie I've ever seen.
I mean, it's not the most violent thing I've ever seen.
No, it's not the most violent thing I've ever seen. but it's definitely the most dog-on-dog violent thing I've ever seen. But I don't watch dog fighting because I think it's horrible.
Well, yeah, of course it's horrible. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else I've seen with that much. I'm not sure. There might be. My brain's kind of dead, though, so can't remember.
Yeah, I liked 2 of the 3 stories.
Yeah.
The middle story, it was alright. I mean, I didn't hate it. It was alright.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah, I don't know. I was just like, this is our first one in Spanish, isn't it?
Maybe. I don't know. Hold on.
I was looking. I think so. Because the rest have been like either Italian, Chinese, Hindi, French.
Yeah. This is the
It's our first Spanish
film.
Yeah. I was like, oh, this is nice. I don't have to worry so much about the translation this time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that made it more comfortable for me, but...
The fact that it was in Spanish?
Yeah. Again, I mean, I grew up, like, hearing Spanish all the time, so... My grandparents talked to me in Spanish. I mean, I understood him. I just answered him in English.
I think that's all I got.
Yeah, same.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
Alright, that was your warning. If you haven't watched the film yet, then come back after you've watched it. Right at the beginning, we see these 2 guys driving real fast.
Yeah.
And they got a dying dog in the back seat.
His dog is bloodied up.
It's a Rottweiler.
Yeah. Big black one.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, alright, starting off with the blood.
Yeah.
Good way to start.
And there's people in a car behind them, in a big truck behind them, chasing them.
It's a yellow truck, if I remember.
Yeah, I think it's yellow. And then there's a car crash.
Yeah.
And then we get a black screen and it says Octavio and Susanna.
Yes, and this is going to be our first story.
Yep. So there's 3 different stories of how this car wreck that we had just seen affected these 3 different people. Well,
yeah, 3 different stories.
Technically 6, but yeah, 3 different stories. So first off, for Octavio and Susanna's story, we see some dog fighting.
Yeah.
And then we see this
punk ass kid.
Some of the hairdos in this were
I know. I was laughing at the hairdos. I really was like, ooh, that is 2000s.
So this girl, she's getting home, and she opens the door, and this big black Rottweiler runs out. And she tries to get him to come back, but he doesn't. He just kind of runs away. And he does come back eventually, but...
Yeah, she's like, ah, stupid dog always gets out.
Yeah. And she goes in, and she's talking to... I guess it seems like her mother-in-law.
It is her mother-in-law.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
She's talking to her, and her mother-in-law is saying that she can't watch the baby. So...
Because she has to go help someone move.
Yeah. So she has to figure out what she's going to do with the baby when she goes to work tomorrow.
Yes.
And then we see this homeless man, and he's walking around with 6 dogs. I think it was 6, if I counted correctly.
There was a bunch of dogs he just had.
He has
I don't remember how many.
And then we see some more dog fighting. Then we're back at the house with the woman. This woman's her name is Susanna. This is her. And she lives with her husband, I'm guessing her mother-in-law, and her brother-in-law.
Yeah. Her brother-in-law is Octavio.
Yeah. Her husband's real rude.
He's a total asshole.
Yeah.
I was like, someone killed this dude already. I don't like him already.
Yeah. Then we jump back to some dog fighting, and there is a dead dog. I don't remember what happened, but one of the dogs from fighting, it was dead. It's just like laying on the ground. And then the funky colored, or the bleach blonde guy is trying to get his dog to go attack the homeless man's dogs, but the homeless man comes at him with a sword, so he calls his dog back.
He's like, don't mess with my dogs.
And I'm just like, where in the world did he get a sword from?
And I'm like, why not?
I mean,
I think
I would
that's
love to have a
awesome.
sword. But the ones I want are going to be display swords, not playing swords and fighting with people's swords.
Well, I mean, if you're like a homeless dude, I mean, you gotta protect yourself.
Yeah. But I just want to know where he got the sword from.
Well, I mean, we learn his story later.
Yeah. We don't know where he gets the damn sword from.
Well, I kind of figured out where he got it.
Okay. Dog fighter guy calls his dog back, and then he sees the big black Rottweiler. And
Kofi.
Yep. And he sends his dog to attack Kofi. And they fight each other. And find out a little bit later that Kofi killed blonde guy's dog.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a big black, what is it, Rottweiler?
Yeah, it's a Rottweiler.
What do you expect?
Those are big, tough dogs.
They're big, tough dogs. I mean, they could be trained to do that. But I think they're probably pretty gentle.
Well, all dogs are gentle until you train them otherwise.
Agreed.
Well, we find out that the homeless man has a home. He has some, like, it seems like a little warehouse thing that used to be a warehouse, but then he just kind of took it over once it got abandoned. That's what it looks like. So after I found out he had a home, I started calling him Scraggly Guy.
I was like, old dude. All right. Old dude.
I just called him Scraggly Guy.
I mean, he has a name in the movie. Well, not really.
Kind of, but...
Kind of.
I liked Scraggly Guy better.
Yeah. I mean, you don't really learn his real name till, like...
the very end
of it. So, Scraggly dude it is.
Yep. The blonde guy, his name is, I think... Jarochito? Something like that. I don't know. I can't remember.
Blonde dude. I just call him blonde dude.
There you go. Blonde dude.
Blonde dude works. I get it.
Yeah, he finds out where Kofi lives, and he went and followed him there, and he sees Octavio coming out and says that Octavio owes him a dog or needs to pay him. And the dog that he wants is Kofi, because he just wrecked his dog, so.
And, like, Octavio's like, I know.
Yeah.
He's mine. Back off.
Oh, they leave, because they're arguing, but then the blonde guy and his little posse leave.
So, Octavio sees, he's in love with Susanna and everything.
Yeah.
And after, blonde dude comes and tells how his dog, like, totally ripped up this other guy's dog. His dog, he gets the idea to get money so he can take Susanna away to dogfight.
Yeah. Even though Susanna doesn't really want to.
No, she doesn't. I mean, even though her husband's a piece of shit and, like, beats her and, like, is just a complete asshole.
Yeah.
I think he, like, ripped her earring out or something.
Yeah, 'cause she was bleeding.
He's like, really? What a dick.
But he's a cashier at Target.
Yeah, he's some cashier at someplace. I don't know.
I think it was
It
Target.
looks like a supermarket or something.
I don't know. I thought it was Target.
That works for you.
But he, on the side, robs gas stations and drugstores and stuff. And he says that one day he's gonna rob a bank.
Yeah. Octavio goes to, one of the main, dogfighting people.
Yeah, and he asks him to, I guess, sponsor him?
Yeah, kind of like co-partners or something.
Yeah.
And he tests the dog and he sees if he's a good fighter, and he is, and so they agreed to 8 fights.
Yeah. And it's kind of there's the montage of him doing all the fights and everything, doing a bunch of different fights. But we see Ramiro robbing some places.
It's there's the whole dog fighting montage and all of that, and he's since Kofi's winning so much that he's raking in all this money, and he's giving it to Susanna to hide so they can have a bunch of money to get ready to leave. She's goes along with it and everything, but
yeah. And we also see Ramiro is buying gifts for Susanna.
Yeah, a Walkman.
Yeah.
It's also she's pregnant too.
Yeah, she did say she's pregnant again.
She is pregnant. Second child, Yeah. Has a baby already. It's what? Maybe
it's probably not even a year old.
Yeah, I was thinking under a year. And and already pregnant.
Yeah.
Good Lord. All of that. There's the part where Octavio does go to see his brother at the supermarket. He's buying diapers and stuff.
Yeah, for Susanna's baby. And Ramiro gets mad. He's like, you shouldn't be buying this for my kid.
He's like, well, you're not.
Yeah. And
he was it headbutts him?
Yeah, he headbutts him.
That's a funny part.
Octavio goes home and he gives some of his extra money to Susanna.
Mm-hmm.
And he says it's for the babies. Then we see Ramiro back at work. And he's cleaning himself up after his brother headbutt him. So he's cleaning up the blood on himself. And then it was kind of confusing because I thought he was in the locker room at work, and then all of a sudden he's at home and he beats his brother in the shower.
I think I think he was at home. And they're just sharing the bathroom because they're brothers. They don't give a shit.
Yeah.
No boundaries.
But it was a little bit confusing because he was at work, and then it looked the bathroom looked like a locker room, so that's what I thought.
Yeah.
So, blonde guy has a new dog. He gets multiple new dogs.
And Octavio's Coffee just kicks these dogs' ass.
Yeah.
All the time, every single time. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
There's also the part right here where, because, Octavio's again in love with Susanna.
Yeah.
And been pressuring her, making passes her. And then, finally, she just, you know what? Fuck it.
Yeah.
And they literally do.
Yeah. And,
in the washing room.
Yeah.
Where all the washers and dryer are.
Yeah. We also see that, Ramiro is cheating. Which,
yep.
Of course he is.
Of course, because he's an asshole.
Yeah. And Kofi keeps killing blonde guy's dogs. 7 of them, I think.
Oh, yeah. Totally. And I think at some point, this part coming up where Ramiro finds out, he's asking, where he's getting all this stuff, money.
Yeah.
Octavio's getting rid of the money. He's like, I figured out using the dog. He's like, I want in.
Yeah, because I guess technically it's Ramiro's dog, even though Octavio is the one that takes care of him and everything, and
yeah.
So he's like, some of that's mine.
And he's like, I know.
Yeah.
And even Ramiro he pulls out a gun he has.
Yeah.
And he points it at the dog.
Yeah.
And tries to shoot him, but it's empty.
Yeah.
I'm like, what a dick.
Octavio asks the guy who sponsored him in the dog fights to help him out with his brother.
Yeah.
He does.
Yeah.
Him and some of his guys jump Ramiro outside of work one night.
Yeah, kick his ass completely.
Yeah. Like, he almost dies.
Whoops. That's how I felt, like, oops.
Yeah.
But again, I don't like the dude.
Yeah, I don't like him either. Octavio tells Susanna that he's prepared to leave on Sunday with her.
Yeah, because the fight that the blonde dude was setting up, like this really awesome dog, and he wants to do like a big like bet, like 40,000 or something.
Yeah, we find out why Ramiro and Octavio's mom takes care of the baby rather than Susanna's mom, because Susanna's mom's always drunk, apparently.
Completely.
Yeah. Octavio gets home, I guess, one night, and it's not too long. I guess it's the night after Ramiro gets jumped.
Yeah, and it's like a day or two before his big dog fight.
Yeah. And Octavio's mom tells him what happened to Ramiro and that he left with Susanna and the baby. And Octavio's super mad, and he's like running around the house, and he goes and looks and to try to find the money that he gave Susanna, but it's not there.
No, because she took it.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, you got played, fool.
Yeah. So he is trying to figure out how he's going to come up with the money for this fight. And he ends up coming up with 20,000, I think.
Yeah.
So he goes to the fight and talks to blonde guy, and blonde guy's like, yeah, sure, 20,000 will work. And so they're in a different place than they normally do the fighting, because they're in like, the dogs are down in like a swimming pool.
Yeah. It's kind of a weird place to have a dog fight, but whatever.
Yeah. I mean, the dogs can't get up the side of the swimming pool unless they're using the stairs, so that might be
That's
why
true.
they did it.
Yeah, okay, I can see that.
Kofi is winning, of course. Actually, no, I think it's kind of a tie between the two. They're both kind of
It's pretty much, yeah, it's like a tie. I think so. But then
Blondie is an asshole and shoots Kofi.
Yeah. Shoots him.
So Octavio and his friend get Kofi and take him out and carry him out to the car. Put him out there, and then we see Octavio go back in, and you kind of see a little glimpse of something he has in his hand. He has a knife. He goes back in and shoots the blonde dude. Or not shoots him, stabs him.
Stabs him in the stomach.
Yeah.
And then he goes back to his car and they book it.
Yep.
And that's where the accident is.
Yep. Because it's literally the same exact scene from the beginning of the movie, except for we now know what led to that.
Exactly.
We got some background in it. And right before the accident, we get a little bit of the next people's story. There's this model and her boyfriend, and they just moved into a new apartment, and they're gonna go celebrate. So she's gonna go out to the liquor store, and that's when she's out, and she's got her dog in the seat in the passenger seat, and she is the one that Octavio and his friend hit in the car accident.
Because they're the one who actually caused the car accident.
Yeah, because they ran the red light.
Yes. They did.
The next story is Daniel and Valerie.
Yes.
And
she's the model.
Yep, she is the model. And we start off their story by the doctor telling Daniel and her about her injuries from the car accident.
Yeah. Took me a second.
Yeah. They find out that the dog is okay. The dog's name is Richie.
Yeah. Dog's fine.
Yeah.
Which I'm actually kind of surprised about. Yeah. Because of, it was a very, it's a high-speed crash. And dog was not,
hanging out the window, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was just in the car.
Oh, I thought...
And it's a small dog.
Yeah, it was a very small dog. For some reason, I thought Richie was hanging out the window, looking out, dogs look out the window. That's what I thought. But
that sounds about right. Yeah, I was, surprised about that. I'm because very high crash. She's got her bad.
Yeah.
Her right leg is just...
Shattered.
And dog's fine. I'm how does that make sense?
They probably figured we had enough dog-on-dog violence that they didn't want to kill this dog in the car crash.
It's like we're making you suffer enough. We'll keep the cute little dog alive and safe and unharmed. Save you a little grief.
Yep.
I like the logic.
So, this is the story that me and you didn't really like too much. It was alright. But it's basically these two are starting off a new relationship, pretty much.
Yeah, because he left his wife.
Yeah, he was married and he left for her.
Yeah, he married 2 kids and left.
Yeah. And so basically this is her healing process and him helping her through it.
Yeah, pretty much.
There's one point when because she's in a wheelchair because, she's got pins and metal rods through her leg and stuff.
Yeah, it's a weird contraption she's got on her leg.
Yeah.
It's right on her femur, too.
Yeah, I think it's just holding it all together, really. I don't think there was much left to hold it together after that accident.
No. Her leg got shattered.
Yeah. But so, she's at home one day while he's at work. She's playing with Richie.
Yeah.
And she's throwing a ball around. And when they first moved into the apartment, there was some, weak floorboards. And she was walking around and her leg fell through it. Which is kind of a little bit of foreshadowing because it's the same leg that's all messed up now. So it's a little bit of foreshadowing.
Yeah, that's right. Nice catch there.
I honestly didn't catch it till just now when I was talking about it. But so the floor broke open, and so now she's at home playing with Richie, and they haven't fixed the floorboard because it's too hard to go to Lowe's and buy some wood to fix the floor. So she's throwing the ball for Richie, and the ball goes in the hole, and so does Richie.
Yep. Dog's in the hole.
Yeah. And one thing, so most dogs, actually all dogs, should not have chocolate, but they give him chocolates to try and lure him out of the hole.
Thank you. I was thinking that same thing. I was like, that doesn't make sense at all.
Well, and, so, speaking from personal experience, my dog did get a hold of chocolate one time as Whoppers. She ate a whole box of Whoppers.
Yeah.
She didn't get sick, but I think that's more because it was milk chocolate, and there's not a lot of chocolate on Whoppers. So, dark chocolate is way worse for dogs than milk chocolate is, for sure, because it's more chocolate content. But I don't know. I've heard of people that give their dogs tiny amounts of chocolate every now and then. So I don't know. I guess it really just depends on the dog and how much chocolate you're really giving him. But they gave that dog a lot of chocolate.
Yeah, it was I'm like, are you kidding? Are you trying to kill the dog?
Yeah. But so they spend the next, I guess their story is about 40 minutes or so. They spend the next 40 minutes trying to get the damn dog out of the floorboards.
Yeah, there's that. And their relationship just gets strained by this.
Yeah.
And she's in pain, so she has, like, no tolerance or patience at all. She just wants her damn dog.
And there's one point when she thinks the rats ate her dog.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. These are not the rodents of unusual size. They're not gonna eat your dog because your dog's still alive. If you can hear him whining, he's safe. He's fine. Once he stops whining, that's when you need to worry about the rats.
Yeah.
Also, if she's a model and her manager bought her this apartment, why in the world are there rats?
Well, he didn't buy it.
That's what it made it. They made it seem like he bought it.
Her boyfriend did. It was like that whole lure was, just a
surprise.
Yeah.
Okay. Just kind of seemed like he bought it. But I might have been writing notes when they said that the boyfriend bought it.
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
Because there's a whole that, and then their relationship strained so much that one morning she's just like, I don't care if you ever come back.
Yeah. Well, because it's strained over the fact that she's probably never going to be the same as she was before. And then it's also strained over the fact that the dog is in the floor.
Yeah. I mean, her life's not going to be the same anymore.
Yeah.
And, I mean, that's pretty stressful. I can see that,
And so, he goes off to work after their big, huge fight. And then she just stays home and
locks herself in the room.
Yeah. And he comes home and notices that she's locked in the room. And so he decides to sleep on the couch. But then later on, either that night or the next morning or the next day or some point, I think it's later on that night, he decides that he wants to be let into the bedroom.
Yeah.
So he breaks down the door because she's not answering.
No.
She's unconscious on the floor.
Yeah.
For a minute, I thought she was dead.
I did too.
I was like, oh, she took her drugs and she died.
I thought it was suicide too. That's bad.
That's exactly what I thought it was.
I was like, okay. I'm like, honestly, that would make sense. I mean, that's not a good place to go. But, no. I mean...
Well, that's what I thought because she was, really depressed.
Sense. Yeah, it would make sense.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sad that we both went that way, but we're just thinking logically here.
Yeah. But so he takes her to the hospital, and the doctor says that her leg became infected, super, super infected, it was dead, pretty much.
Gangrene.
Yeah. And so they gotta cut it off.
Yeah.
And so they cut it off, and then the next thing we see is him rolling her into the house. Well, no, not yet.
The dog.
So next thing we see, he goes home that night because she has to stay in the hospital because she just got her leg cut off.
Yeah.
And he feels really bad, so he tears apart the floor to get the dog.
Yeah, and he gets the dog out.
Yep.
And then it's when she comes home.
Yep, then she comes home and she's happy to see Richie. But now they really need to fix the floor because there ain't no way she's walking again. So they gotta fix them holes.
Oh, yeah. She's got she has an electric wheelchair now.
Yeah.
And there was this advertisement outside their apartment.
Yeah,
and it was her.
One that she had modeled for.
And now it's gone.
Yeah.
And she sees it. And she's sad.
Yep.
And they hold hands. Yeah.
Yep. So it makes it seem like it's all gonna be okay.
And I was I'm like, okay, can I move on?
Yeah.
To the next story, please.
Yeah, this one was real slow. Well, especially after all the action and everything that happened in Octavio's story, then we get this one, and you're just like, okay, this one's really slow.
Yeah. You're like, come on.
Yeah. And then so the next story we have is El Chivo and Maru. I think that's how it's said. El Chivo is Scraggly Guy.
Scraggly Guy.
So we see a couple guys in a car talking about Scraggly Guy.
Yeah.
And talking about some other stuff. I didn't catch the entire conversation. The one part I thought was funny is that the cop guy throws the other guy's phone out the window because it keeps ringing.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny.
He's like, why'd you throw it? I'm like, you'll get another one.
Yeah.
Which he does, but
Yeah. But so they go to Scraggly Guy's house, and the non-cop guy wants to hire Scraggly Guy to kill his partner and make it look like a robbery.
Yeah.
And this is where we get a little bit of his background.
Yeah, well, the cop with them, he's telling him about him as they're going over there.
Yeah. And he was a, forget the word that they kept saying. They kept saying it. Oh. But basically, he was a hitman.
like, he used to be, what was it?
See, that's the problem. I can't remember the word they were using.
Because he was like I know they said, like, teacher.
Yeah, he was a teacher, and then he stopped
he wanted
doing
to do
that.
something good, and so he joined the, like a underground thing.
Yeah.
Like a guerrillas kind of group.
That's it, the gorilla.
Yeah. And that's what he had to serve time for it.
Yeah.
And then once he got out, that's when he started doing, like, the hits and
the
stuff.
hitman stuff, yeah.
And, oh, you're right, I forgot. You did shoot him earlier. Apologies.
Yeah, he shot him.
Because I was like, it's just such a random thing.
Yeah, it showed a lot of random stuff of the other two stories in Octavio's story, so it's a little bit confusing at times.
Yeah. That's why I was, like, confused me. I'm like, wait a minute, what?
Yeah.
I know the funeral was this part.
Yeah, it's just, like, random drops of things that these other characters were doing in there. Because he shoots that guy in the thing, and then he goes, the Scraggly Guy goes to his funeral where he's not allowed. Like, he's
this is the funeral
upset,
now.
And
yeah, the funeral's this one, I believe. Because when he sees the paper of, the guy that he killed, he's like, all right, yeah. I'm good there. Then he sees this funeral notice. And he's like, he starts crying. And I'm like, oh, this must be someone he knows.
Yeah.
And so he goes to it.
Yeah, and I guess it is his sister-in-law goes up to him and says that he's not welcome at that funeral, and
that she thinks she's
yeah, his daughter thinks that he's dead.
And the daughter seems really upset, so I'm guessing that's her mom that died.
Yeah. That'd be my guess.
So after all that, there's the, because how he does his hits is he tracks them.
Yeah.
And so he's tracking this dude, but he's has the hit out, and this is where he sees the car accident.
Yeah.
That's the connection. There.
Yeah.
And he helps get, this is funny. He helps with Octavio's car.
Yeah.
And he totally, like, robs him.
Yeah.
It's great.
Robs a man, steals his dog.
He sees a dog in the back, bleeding, and he's, like, really loves dogs, so of course he's gonna help out the dog, not the person.
Yeah. Well, because there's plenty of other people around. Like, it was a busy intersection, so...
It was.
So... Scraggly Guy takes Kofi and, like, nurses him back to health. Like, helps him out and everything. And while he's doing this, he makes several attempts of talking to his daughter and trying to get her attention, but nothing really works.
Yeah. He even breaks into her house. That's great.
Yeah, which is kind of weird.
I was like, that's awesome.
And it's funny because he takes a picture of her at either, like, her high school or college graduation of her mom, and her stepdad. And he puts a photo of himself over it.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird.
It's actually really sad.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can see why he did it, but it's still kind of weird.
Yeah.
Like, he wanted to be there. He did, but...
Yeah.
He just couldn't.
And, so he went to a photo booth to take his picture to replace the, stepfather's face with. And while he's near the photo booth, he sees, Ramiro and Susanna with the baby. And then, like, right after this, we see that Ramiro finally decided to rob the bank.
Yeah.
And it doesn't go over too well.
Yeah.
Because that cop that we saw a little bit earlier is there. And so he shoots him.
Yeah, kills him.
Yeah.
It's like, now this is a very interesting funeral right here.
Yeah.
Like, with the glass over him.
Yeah, I've never seen that.
I haven't either. I haven't. And I've been to a lot of funerals.
But I was thinking it might be something to do with, like, cremation. Like, they may have them in a cremation box and they just put glass over that before they go put them into the cremation thing. They just take the glass off. And, like, that's the best way they can display them. But I don't really know because I've never seen... I've never been to a funeral where the person's going to be cremated, so...
Yeah, I haven't either. It's like, with like the ones I've been to, it's a cremation, they just, do it.
Yeah.
Like, they might have, like, a private viewing.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how all this works or, like, what type of funeral they were having, but it was kind of weird.
Yeah. It's like, and then you see Octavio's there, too, at the funeral, because, it is his brother.
Yeah.
He's on crutches, he's bald, he's all, cut up from the
up,
accident.
Yeah. And he's still trying to get Susanna to leave with him.
She's like, dude, no.
Yeah. And he tells her that he has bus tickets and that he'll wait for her at the bus station. And then we see him at the bus station and she doesn't show up.
No.
Oh, and she also says that the unborn baby, that his name is going to be Ramiro, after his dad.
Yep.
Which is kind of sweet, but also kind of sick, because his dad was an asshole.
Complete asshole. But that happens quite a bit. So
That's true.
Yeah.
But then we go back to Scraggly Guy.
Scraggly dude.
And he comes home one day to find that Kofi, because he's all better now and he's got the bandages off and everything. He comes home to find that Kofi killed all of his dogs.
Yep. I'm like, well, he's like, that's what he's been doing.
Yeah.
So he doesn't know better.
Yeah, he doesn't know better.
He doesn't.
And Scraggly Guy's like real upset about it. He pulls his gun out and is gonna shoot Kofi, but then he doesn't because he realizes this is not the best thing to be doing right now. Like, we shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah.
So he burns the remains. He doesn't bury him. He burns them out, I'm guessing, in his backyard type thing.
Yeah.
And decides that he's going to finish the job that he was hired for. So we see him following this dude some more. And he finally gets him and abducts him.
Yeah. Drives him back to his place.
Yeah. And it's funny because he asks him if he wants a drink, and the guy's like, yeah, I want some water. But he doesn't untie him to give him the water.
No.
He's like, you gotta figure it out yourself.
He's like, do you want rum? Do you want water? Do you want milk? He's like, I'll be the waiter, but I'm not gonna make you freaking,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do it for you. Which is kind of a dick move, but
yeah,
it's kind of funny.
Doesn't he offer him a banana at one point, too?
Yeah, like in the next morning. He's like, oh, good morning, like, does, like, peels a banana for him and, like, gives it to him.
Yeah. And, he also tells him that he had found the dog. He had found Kofi. And that he hasn't decided on a name for him yet, but he's thinking about Blackie. I think.
Well, he goes through all these names.
Yeah. Doesn't he settle on Blackie?
Well, like at the end.
Yeah.
But this is like after all this. He's like, goes through all his names, and he says the name of the dude that, like, wants the hit.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's my half-brother and my partner.
Mm-hmm. And so he goes and gets the brother.
Yeah,
the
he's
one
like,
that hired him.
He's like, yeah, it's done. Come. He's like, I want my money.
Yeah. And it's really not done, so he ties them both up, and they're both in the same room.
And he's like, he like steals the guy, like the one that ordered the hit. He like steals his clothes.
Yeah.
And like he like shaves and everything.
Yeah, he's not so scraggly anymore.
He's not really scraggly anymore. He's like all smooth, clean shaven, muy guapo.
And he goes back to the, before he goes, he puts his gun in the middle of the room and unties the two, or no, he doesn't untie him, but he puts the gun in the middle of the room for the two guys to fight over.
He's like, have fun.
Yeah. And that's kind of funny because we don't actually know who got the gun first. We see them fighting over it because they somehow managed to get loose. I don't remember how. I think he unties him, but I can't remember.
He does.
Okay. But so they see him fighting over the gun, and we don't know who kills who, but somebody killed somebody.
So then he goes, he takes another picture.
Yep.
It's a nice, clean-shaven one.
Uh-huh.
And he puts that picture over the other one. He takes the other one off, puts the nice one back.
Yep.
And he goes to his daughter's place and puts that graduation picture back in the frame.
He calls the daughter and leaves her this like nice long message about how he's sorry that he wasn't ever there for her and that he is always trying to be the man that she thinks he is or thought he was because she thinks he's dead.
Yeah.
And he leaves her a bunch of money.
Yes.
And says that he will be back when he's worthy of her. Which is kind of creepy because she thinks he's dead.
Yeah.
Then he takes the business guy's SUV to the chop shop. And it seems like he's like right back behind the chop shop and he just like walks off.
With the doggy.
Yep.
That's why he calls him Blackie.
Oh,
well,
yeah, that's
it. Made in the movie, he calls him Negro. Yeah.
But that's the end of the movie.
Yep, that's the movie.
So the music for this is by Gustavo Santaolalla? Something like that.
Close,
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's about as close as I'm going to be able to get.
Close to midnight, yeah.
Yeah. 6 hours of sleep, working 12 hours, yeah.
Doing great, Kat. As close as I'm
going to get. So, he got started on She Dances Alone in 1981. And he is known for Brokeback Mountain from 2005.
Good soundtrack.
Babel from 2006, Wild Tales from 2014, and The Motorcycle Diaries from 2004. He has won 2 Oscars. Both of them are Best Achievement in Music Written for Motion Picture Original Score, one for Brokeback Mountain and one for Babel.
Wild Tales is coming up.
Okay.
I thought I recognized that. It's number 183.
Okay.
From 2014?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's coming up. It's on the list.
Yeah, I thought I recognized it. The name, at least.
That's our next Spanish-speaking one.
Okay. I don't think there's anything to compare it to.
No.
Not that I know of.
I don't think so.
I think this is an original screenplay.
Yeah, I think so.
Trivia. One thing that I looked up, I do have one, sorry.
Go.
Because I was really worried that they, like, went and found dead dogs for this movie.
No.
They, had a lot of dogs that looked very, very similar. And they knocked them out.
Yep.
And they were only allowed to knock them out for 30 minutes a day. That's why they had so many dogs that looked the same. So they knocked them out, and that's why they looked like they were dead. It's because they were sleeping.
They're sleepy. Yeah. That's a good trivia. I was going to say that too.
And then the other part about the dogs is that they were actually playing when they did the fight scenes. They had the dogs playing with each other.
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah.
I mean, I can tell. I've watched enough dogs. I'm like, they're playing. It just sped up a little bit to show it.
But they did a really good job with it.
They did. Some good editing.
Yeah. But that's the trivia that I've got.
I like some of these, like, some of the trivia, like, how it was filmed in Mexico City, and in, like, really dangerous parts, like the ghetto.
Yeah.
And so people got robbed.
Yeah, so weren't they robbed?
Oh, yeah. Like, a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, well, it happens when you're in, like, the bad part of, the city. Mexico City's not small. It's a big city.
Yeah.
Oh, what's another one I liked? Oh, this one. So, it's got some Del Toro influence in this movie.
Uh-huh.
Because, Del Toro's like, he watched it, like, the first cut of it. He's like, would you mind if I showed you what I would do to it? Like, my edit? And he showed the director. And he's like, okay, I see what you mean. So, like, they worked together to edit this movie.
Yeah.
Which I think is really cool. Because, again, Del Toro is another Mexican director.
He's one of my favorite directors.
He's amazing.
Yeah. Oh, I have another one.
Go.
For the wreck, they used, I think it was 9 different cameras. 7 down on the ground and 2 up in the air.
Yep.
And they did that live. Like, they had one chance to do it.
Well, they did it, like, twice, I believe.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if they did it twice or not. Because they didn't really have that big of a budget, so I wasn't sure how many chances they had to do it.
I believe they got, like, 2.
Okay. But yeah, they did that, and they did that with all those people around. And they hid those cameras really well. Because they got all those different angles, and I didn't ever see a camera.
No. Like, especially with, like, things you only get, like, 1 or 2 shots at. Yeah, you gotta have, like, every single angle possible. I mean, that's just a mark of a good director.
Uh-huh.
You gotta have all your bases covered.
Yeah. I think that's the only other thing.
I mean, you took all the good ones, so...
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I was really worried about the dogs.
That's adorable.
I had to look it up.
I'm like, yeah, that's about it. I mean, there's not much.
Yeah.
It's like the one things that people really were probably worried about was the dogs, so...
Yeah. So where it has been on the list before... 2010, it was number 165. 2012, it was 181. 2014, 187. 2016, 206. 2018, 213. And as of today when we are recording, it is still 213.
Huh.
Yeah. So it's moving down a little bit. But I think it'll kind of stay right where it's at, because even though it is one of the ones that's kind of tough to watch, I think people still do like it for how it's portrayed.
I like it.
Yeah.
I think it's a good spot where it is.
Yeah.
And I can definitely see why it's on the list. For sure. Mm-hmm. I can.
Yeah. It's really well done.
And it's even with... I mean, it was his first film, too. It's his first full-length film, because he just did, like, shorts before, like, TV shorts. So, this is his first full-length one. This is, like, what, 2 hours?
2.5 hours.
2.5 hours. See?
Yeah.
It was actually longer. It was that longer cut, but after Del Toro was like, dude, cut it down a little bit. It's too long.
Yeah. So, previously the number 207 movie, the 2010 list, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, from 1966.
Classic.
The 2012 list, Rope from 1948. The 2014 list, High Noon from 1952. The 2016 list, The Princess Bride from 1987, which we watched previously.
Yep.
The 2018 list, The 400 Blows.
That's coming up.
Yeah, from 1959. It's like about 5 movies away, I think, at this point. 4 or 5. So, as of today, when we are recording, number 207 is Rush from 2013. So, favorite line?
Oh, there's a couple. I just can't think of them, like, distinctly. The one that I was like, there's a couple. Like, I know 2 of them I like for sure. As the, I wanted to set the world right and share it with you.
Okay.
And then the other one, this one made me laugh because I don't know how many times I've heard this saying. It's like, if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans.
Yeah, I've heard
like,
that one a few
I
times.
don't know how many times I've heard that. I heard it from my grandparents, my mother. I'm like, just stop. I know.
I've heard that one in movies a lot. I don't think I've ever actually heard a person say it.
Oh, I have.
But I've heard it in movies. So I think I have 2. Yeah, I only see 2. Being tough won't make you smart.
Yeah.
And I have nothing to apologize for, alright? But I'm sorry.
Huh.
I think that, Daniel says that to Valerie.
That makes sense.
So what do you think?
I like the being tough one.
Being tough won't make you smart?
Yep.
Alright.
I like it.
Alright. So, what did you give it?
I'm giving it a solid 8.
Okay.
Solid 8. Again, Spanish didn't bother me at all. Completely fine with it. Again, I understand it. I took some points up because it is hard to watch all those dogs. It really is.
Yeah.
I had to take some for that. And that middle story kind of killed me off a bit.
Yeah.
It did.
Mine's kind of the same reasons. I'm giving it a 7. Because the dogs, it was really hard to watch all those dogs. Because I love animals so much. The middle story, like you said. Also, it was a little bit long, because, like, I was watching it, and, it got to the end of Octavio's story, and I was like, oh, cool, I probably have, like, 20 minutes left in the movie.
Nope.
And I pause it. Nope. That was only, like, an hour.
Yeah, I would agree with the time length a little bit.
So, it was a little bit long.
Little long.
But some good things. I really liked the story.
Yeah.
It was really well done, how he tied all 3 of them together. The makeup was done really well.
Yeah, those special effects, especially with the dogs, and, like,
Yeah.
all that, blood. Like, whoa.
Yeah. All the makeup, all the special effects.
Like, I was, like, so worried. I was like, I hope they're really not dead.
Yeah.
I'm like, if it convinces the audience to think that those are really dead dogs, then yeah, you got some good effects.
Yeah. I think for a first outing as a director for a feature-length film, this is a really good one.
Agreed.
So yeah, I'm gonna go with a 7 on this one.
Yeah, I mean, like, I've seen Birdman. That movie is crazy, but it's good. It earned its Oscar win.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did, for sure. I mean, it's not on our list at all. I'm like, really?
Yeah. I did notice that. I'll probably watch it again at some point when I have time,
Yeah.
which is hardly ever.
Just watch Birdman. I mean, that movie's crazy.
Yeah.
Some really good, like, shots. There's just, like, not much, like, a camera move, like, you know, like, different scenes, because it's all continuous.
Well, and
He grew. It's crazy.
yeah, that's one thing I forgot about in trivia is a lot of this was handheld
Yep.
camera.
There's a lot
shots.
of handheld shots in here.
I think like 95% of it was handheld. I think the only part that wasn't was the car crash.
And you can't really do handheld cameras with a car accident.
Yeah, I think they used the bigger ones, but I think the rest of the movie was handheld. And they did a really good job with it, because, like, even though it was shaky at times, because, you know, that's how handheld is, it fit with what was happening.
Yeah, it did.
But yeah, I think just, like, literally everything that he did, like, even, like, there's nothing, I don't know what the word is. Like, literally the only parts of this that I don't like are in the story and in the movie. Like, the dogfighting and the middle story weren't that great. And then the length of it. Like, literally everything else was great. So, our next film is Logan.
Yay!
From 2017. And that's, an X-Men movie about Wolverine.
I'm
In case you
sorry,
didn't know.
I had to squeal a little bit. That's my fiance's name, so I'm like, ah! I know, I get excited about little things.
Yeah, that's alright.
Plus, it's a really good movie.
Yeah, it is a good movie. I like that one. Yeah, that's a X-Men movie about Wolverine. Wolverine's name is Logan, if you didn't know that.
Well, one of his names, but we'll go there
Yeah.
later.
So that'll be out next week. So we are offering premium. If you would like to become a premium member, you will get uncut episodes, early release episodes, and special monthly episodes. All of that for $1 a month. And then for $5, you get all of that, as well as you are able to join us for a movie of your choice every 50 movies. We're getting to the point now where it'll be 4 movies. We're just going to go ahead and cut it off now and say 4 movies. So, because it's too late, I think, because we've got it all planned out up to number 50 at this point. So,
Yeah.
our next monthly special episode for April is going to be, the two of us picked an actor / director. I picked a director that I like from our list, Steven Spielberg,
And I picked an actor. I picked Michael Keaton.
yeah, so we're gonna do a little, expose kind of, I guess, for them.
Yeah, like we did last time, because last time I picked Robin Williams.
Yeah, and I picked, Viola Davis last time.
Yeah.
So it'll be very similar to that episode, just talking about what they've done, why we like them, what they have coming up, all that good stuff. So,
Oh, yeah.
if you're interested in that, check out Premium. Also, if you could leave us a positive rating and review, that would be great. It'd be nice to know how we're doing, what things we could change, what things you guys like, all that.
It's like, we're nice. Just talk to us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cat.
I'm nice. Just honest.
That's a good word for it.
Well, yeah. I'm tired. So if you could share the show with your friends if they like movies and like listening to people talk about movies, or want to hear us talk about movies, share it with your friends. They can find it everywhere. So just let them know. If you guys want to interact with us, we are on all the social medias, I think. I don't know what they all are, but we're on them.
It's like, I know we have our Facebook, we got Twitter, we got Instagram.
Yes.
Those 3 big ones for sure.
Yes, and you can email us as well.
It's like, share the pages too. Like, we're trying to get more followers.
Yes, please. And if you message us or email us, we'll message you back. Our music is by Audio Binger, and you can find him on Facebook, YouTube, and at his website, audiobinger.net.
Yeah, I know he's working on new music.
Yeah. Which is good, because I need to find something for our Disney event. Oh, speaking of that, at the end of this month...
Good catch.
At the end of this month, we are going to be doing our next event. It's our 4th event? Yeah. I think so. 5th. I don't know. One of them numbers.
It's the 5th one. Yeah.
It's Harry Potter, Christmas, Halloween, superheroes. Yeah, so it's the 5th one.
5th one already, Kat.
Oh my god.
All right. It's like we got Harry Potter in July, so.
Yeah. Our background circle, almost full circle. So yeah, at the end of this month, it will be our Disney event. The 2 of us each picked 2 of our favorite Disney movies that are not on the list. I picked Wreck-It Ralph 2, Ralph Breaks the Internet, and Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl.
And I picked Aladdin and Princess and the Frog.
Yep. So that will be out for y'all at the end of April.
Yep.
And I think that's all we've got.
Yeah, I think so. I think we're both tired, so I think it's a good stopping point.
Yeah. Bye.
All right, bye.